Well, Daryl, mission accomplished through to the fifth round. What were your thoughts on the performance?
Yeah, I thought we did all right. I think we've played sort of 3 games on the spin that are, 2 amateur teams, and they were pretty good today. I thought Hunslet, they came after us, threw some tricky bits at us. I think for us mentally, we're just ready to move on to the next level. Really, we've got Barrow next week. I watched them. They got beat by Oldham, but they throw a fair bit at you. So yeah, we're just ready for a new challenge, I think. And we're in both competitions, and draw tomorrow, is it? So we'll find out what happens in the Challenge Cup. But we're in the 1895 Cup. We don't know which cup we're in from week to week. So it's sort of we're bouncing from one to the other and just trying to stay as focused as we can. And I don't think we were ever that great today, but we didn't need to be. And sometimes motivation-wise, that's a little bit awkward. But yeah, we needed to win the game. We did that convincingly, and we move on. I reckon we'll sort of slide that under the table review-wise and just move on and concentrate on ourselves. And we've got a shorter week this week with the Saturday game next week. So yeah, I won't look into that in too much depth.
You saw some determined defence from the amateur team today. You had to work hard at times.
Yeah.
For the win.
Yeah, we did. They started pretty well, didn't they? And they're a well-organised team. They throw some bits at you. You've got some big boys out there who'll make it tough physically. I thought they defended some of our better players really well. So yeah, look, full credit to them. I think they had a real dig at us today, and we just had to win the game. I thought we just made too many unforced errors in the second half. I'd like to see us be a little bit cleaner, but I get it from a player's perspective as well that you want to be challenged, and we're looking forward to that next level.
What goes into the thinking and the planning for an 80-minute performance in games like this? How do you keep those motivation levels up?
I thought we did a pretty good job last week. We dropped off for probably a 6-7 minute period, but it's just trying to respect the game itself, I suppose, and obviously respect the opposition. That's important. They're a bunch of hard-working guys who play a good brand of rugby league and are right up there in the amateur game. They're class. So you've got to respect that, and but then when you go sort of 30 points to 6 up, it's what's there to keep staying tidy, and that's the hard thing. That's what I found hardest today, was to keep us focused in the second half. And I think there's a couple of plays. He was pretty tight on the play of the balls today, and I mentioned to Harvey, he had 2 where he didn't play the ball. Nines don't play the ball as much as everybody else. It's not something you think about too much, but they don't. And he had 2 that were incomplete play the balls. But in general, I thought he was pretty lively, Harvey, and he was the same last week. He caused them a lot of trouble.
13 tries, so plenty of positives. All the tries spread out across the team. What benefits do you feel as though you get from a team though from playing in games such as this? Would you say?
Well, you get through to the next round, don't you? I think the benefit is to the game as a whole. You're giving to the game, because amateur teams get an opportunity to come and play in a professional environment, and they don't get that opportunity that much. So, for us, I don't think it's ever going to grow us as a team. It's not challenging us specifically, and I do think that we're in competitions too early this year. It don't make sense to me that we've got a round robin of 1895 Cup. It don't make sense that we win by 100 points last week. It's just, that's not good for the game, I don't think. I want to see Newcastle grow and thrive in rugby league, but I don't think that's great. So I think a more sensible approach to the start of the year would would benefit teams like ourselves a little bit more. But look, it is what it is. We've cracked on with it. We've played against 2 amateur teams now, and we've fully respected them and everything that they're about. And you benefit, I think, in terms of the respect that people see you in, because you do that. And the game's an unbelievable game in itself, and I think we've done ourselves justice in paying respect to the game and the teams that we've played against the last 3 weeks.
We mentioned 13 tries, 13 goals as well. 100% record for Max again today, and he's equalled the club record today, as Mason did last week.
Yeah.
But he's looking really confident as a goalkeeper, Max, now, isn't he?
Wow, he's got a laser boat, hasn't he? You know, he's not only is he accurate, but he's exceptionally long with his range as well. So I think that, you know, he's been really impressive. I mean, we've got a number of goal kickers at the club. You know, Miles can kick, Lachlan Walmsley can kick, but I think Max is the pick. You know, he's, like I say, if sideline, it's the same. It's almost Kevin Sinfield-esque, really, how straight he kicks the ball. So yeah, that's, you know, that'll be a benefit at some point. At the moment, it's just records, isn't it? But you know, you'll be talking about winning games in the future, and that's always a valuable asset to have. There
was an unfortunate incident early on with Toby Boothroyd. How is he at the moment?
Yeah, so his AC joint. So it looks like he's ruptured, completely ruptured his AC joint, which is a pretty horrible injury. I had separation in mine when I played, and it's not a great injury. So yeah, he'll probably have to have that repaired. Not fully, you know, don't know the full details yet, but that's what it looks like. And yeah, you spend a fair, decent amount of time out with that.
Just last one from me. There was mention of Kai Rodwell from Parramatta during the week. Is that one that's got any legs that's likely to go anywhere?
Oh well, I don't know. I mean, you know, it's someone that we've considered and spoken to, and obviously at the moment he's contracted Parramatta, so yeah, we'll wait and see how that goes. But you know, he's somebody that would be interested in the future, but that'll depend on what happens with him contract wise in Australia.
Thanks, Daryl.
Cheers, thank you.
On the way the draw comes up, then you prefer a tougher opposition to build you up for the championship?
Yeah, I think, you know, you're not going to win anything by playing teams who aren't going to stretch you a little bit. And whilst it might be, oh yes, we'll get to the next round, it's, you know, that's probably as far as you're going to go if you're not being challenged. And we want to see how good we can be. I think we've had a couple of tests. You know, we played Wigan here, and they were really strong in the forward pack. They didn't have those boys, those fast boys that they had out there last night. An unbelievable game that was, by the way. But that game and then the York game, where I thought we were outstanding, when we were actually mentally challenged. So there's been two games there that I think we know what we've got, but I want to really know what we've got, and that's when we get into these games that are going to really test and challenge us, starting with Barrow, and then obviously on the horizon, Challenge Cup again, which is and then we're into Bradford, Challenge Cup again, and then Featherstone. So you know they're sort of just round the corner, and we know they're there. I talked to them, but I'm not going after them after that game. You know, it's frustrating, I think, for them and for the coaching staff as well. But it's hard when you've won by so many points in it to say that.
Your edge partners were Wigan, of course. Not a bad performance, as you said last night.
No, I mean, you're looking at that going, that's a resilience win, isn't it? Because they were under so much pressure, and whilst Penrith didn't really execute probably as well as they would have liked to, the way that Wigan defend sort of dictates to you a little bit. I thought the way they defended on the edges minimised what they could do there, you know, and they kept turning the ball back inside, thinking, and I thought they were going to get Wigan's middle. And you could see that some of their middle unit players were completely gone because they had minimal rotation opportunities, but they just kept turning up, and that's Wigan, isn't it? That's what they do. They just keep turning up, and that's why they're champions over here. And for them to add that accolade to the list is phenomenal and good for the game. Good for the game here, and I thought it was refereed. I know there's a little bit of controversy around a couple of decisions, but I thought it was refereed really well in terms of the overall game, where we've gone crazy, super crazy in my opinion, and it can't continue down this track, you know. I really don't think it can. I think it has to change for me, otherwise we're asking for serious trouble for our game.
With the way the players seem to have reacted over the weekend in Super League, do you think that change is going to come sooner rather than later? They're going to put the pressure on?
Well, I think they should. You know, I think the players have got it within their right to voice concern. because they're playing the game, and at the moment they ain't got a clue what's going on. You know, if you look that sending off, I recognise health and well-being of players, but you know, what does Neil Brown do there? What does he do? Impossible. It's an impossible situation, and I think what we're doing is making it impossible for referees. So we want to make their job easier, not harder. And what we're doing is giving them a whole lot of rubbish to deal with, in my opinion.
You think everybody's had enough time to develop their tackling styles after 20 years of tackling the same way? Is that
well, I just think some of the decision makers haven't got a clue about what the game, how you practice to change habits. Just you need a lot of time to change those habits. The Liam Watts one, for example, I don't know what else he does there. I have no idea what I would coach there. No. You just saying, well, you can't tackle him really. If he, that don't make sense. They're talking about lowering of height and things like that. But if somebody puts head down there, what are you supposed to do? Very hard. So yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But for me, I don't see the Australians going down that line. I think we've been panicked into and been led by people who don't really understand the game. If I'm honest, I'll be brutally honest with it.